Dani Ceballos has spent the early season in a quiet kind of exile, present in training, present on paper, absent where it matters most, on the pitch. At 29, when most players are carving the sharpest edge of their careers, he's felt the cold press of limited minutes and a manager's plan that rarely includes him. The facts are simple. Xabi Alonso has settled a squad and, as the summer swelled and deals clicked into place across Europe, Ceballos found himself on the periphery more often than not. Those are the small cruelties of elite clubs. Talent is not always an automatic ticket to time, and for a midfielder who built his reputation on rhythm and presence, bench time is a slow erasure. As August slid towards September, the transfer rumour mill spun a familiar carousel. Marseille whispered, Betis lingered in the background, even Saudi contacts surfaced, each offering a different future. Marseille reportedly held talks but ultimately failed to land a deal that satisfied all parties. Betis, the sentimental return to a former home, kept floating in suggestions but struggled to match the financial reality of a player who commands meaningful wages. Saudi interest was real as far as early conversations went, but nothing materialized into a concrete bid. All those doors, one after another, stayed ajar without opening, and Ceballos watched options shrink even as his need for consistent minutes grew. Then, almost quietly but with growing inevitability, Turkey appeared on the horizon. The Super League's transfer window remains open beyond most of Europe's deadlines, a different calendar that creates a second act in late summer for players and clubs who missed earlier moves. Galatasaray, a club with continental ambitions, a history of strong midfield signings, and the appetite to chase experienced talent, has been linked to the midfielder. Agents have reportedly offered his services and conversations have circulated in the Turkish market. For a player who wants minutes, who wants to feel important again, rather than merely comfortable in a giant jersey, Galatasaray represents both stage and scoreboard, regular domestic minutes and European nights if the club's ambitions hold true. The appeal is pragmatic as much as romantic. Ceballos needs to play. At 29, he still has the technical and tactical tools to be more than a squad option, but the clock on competitive sharpness is unforgiving. A move to Turkey could return him to a starring role, a midfield place where a manager counts on him every week, and where his passing and spatial intelligence can reassert themselves under pressure rather than in cameo relief. For Real Madrid, the calculus is different but straightforward. Letting go of a player who is not in the first plan's free salary room simplifies selection headaches and allows younger or more in-plan signings to breathe. The club that once counted on Ceballos in flashes might prefer the tidy arithmetic of a completed transfer to the slow friction of uncertain minutes, but this is still a drama and not a done deal. Deadlines loom. The Super League window closes on September 12, and that gives both urgency and leverage to every phone call, every agent's pitch, every internal Real Madrid conversation about squad shape. Will the player choose consistent minutes in a league that will give him a platform, or will he gamble on staying to fight for minutes at the Bernabéu with the hope that a tilt of form or injury could swing him back into the picture? Each path carries the potential of reward and regret. One promises immediate restoration of status, the other clings to the prestige of titles and the slow, stubborn hope of breaking back into a world-class lineup. In the end, the story will be decided in days, not weeks. Contracts, salary talks, and the thin, decisive signatures that change seasons. For fans and clubs watching, the Ceballos case is more than a single transfer rumour. It's a snapshot of modern football's choices, playing time versus prestige, immediate impact versus long-term stability, the way different calendars and ambitions create second-chance windows for careers. Whoever wins the bet, whether Galatasaray books a new midfield heartbeat or Ceballos stays to try and reclaim his place at Real Madrid, the outcome will ripple beyond one shirt number. It will alter minutes, bench depth, and the quietly shifting balance of squads across Europe as managers and directors rearrange around the decision. The deadline is close, the options are clear, and for Ceballos the next move will tell us whether this chapter is a renaissance or a rueful what if.